All right, everybody, welcome into the JJ and Pug Show, April 24th, recording from the Highland Communities Podcast Studio. I always say studios. It's one. There's just one here.
They don't know.
Yeah, well, they kind of do.
Yeah, that's true. They do.
I got to be better, man. I'm refining things. We're refining things as we go. We're only 4 months into this. We still got. Remember once when we first started this, we were going to say, we'll just do it every Sunday.
Yeah.
Just once a week.
Yeah.
Bro, I can't stop myself, man.
I know.
I do this every night.
I know. If I lived closer and we didn't have these busy life schedules,
yeah.
I mean, I'd do it every night.
Dude,
we'd be the Joe Rogan show before you know it.
Oh, dude, that'd be great, man. I'll take that however $100 million contract Rogan got with, was it iHeart or?
I don't even know dude, it doesn't even matter. I would take half of that.
Yeah, dude. Bro.
Quarter.
I would take any percentage of that.
Just a little bit. I don't need much, dude.
Hold on a second now. What just happened to Brandon Ingram? He had needing the nuts?
Got hit in the stomach or the nuts?
Oh, he's holding his jersey nut.
Yeah, but when you get hit in the nuts, bro, you
feel
it in your stomach.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, so right now we got the Thunder Pelicans game on in the studio because, it's the playoffs. It's the
playoffs?
You
want to talk about playoffs?
Mora. And, it's funny. So I was going through our show list here and I was thinking of things to delete. And there's amazing how many things are on here that I could not delete because I'm like, oh, we'll talk about the game. The Suns suck.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they beat. I think they're gonna get swept. Bring out the broom, dude. The Wolves are playing, man.
Impossible to defend the other stance right now.
They are playing like garbage.
They suck so bad. I mean, it was watching that game last night. So Carl texts me, you, and Zach, right, to defend his pick of the Suns being one of the worst team brands out there. To which I still say, dude, that's a terrible stance to take. However, he is 100% right. And there has never been a team I have ever been a fan of that I have hated watching more than this iteration of the Phoenix Suns. The 2023-24 Phoenix Suns team is the worst team I've ever watched play that I've been a fan of with an all-timer, an all-time great, who's still playing at that level, by the way. Kevin Durant is still playing at an all-time great.
He's still
level.
balling for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Devin Booker, I think, averaged the most points he's ever averaged in his career this year. I don't know if that's... No, I think that's true. I'm going to fact-check myself. And then I will say this. Bradley Beal still has no idea where he fits on this team.
No.
And I don't know that I can really blame him as much as I am going to absolutely come on blast against the coaching staff for the Phoenix Suns because they have put together the worst-looking offense and the most inept defense I've ever watched play basketball.
It's pretty bad.
There's nothing about it that I would say is... I can't defend any of it.
No, and I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's bad. Like, you see here, I mean, anybody watching that's listening that has been watching the Suns, they all have to agree. I don't know anybody that would be defending them at this point. I mean, it's obviously... If they lose in the first round and they get swept, they need to do something because this isn't going to work. You're not going to fix this. You had a season... Everybody was hyped up on this season. KD was going to be here the whole time. You get Bradley Beal. You're like, hey, we got it. I feel like somebody in the studio said it wasn't going to work.
It was you.
But I don't know. And I don't know much, but I don't know. I just never felt like it was going to be a thing. And now you see it and you're like, well, and it's not that it's not like they're bad players. They just don't play well together.
That is the 100% the problem. So I know that I said this when we first assembled this team. The first year never works.
Right.
I'm going all the way back to the Miami Heat. They gathered the three. I'm not going to say the three best players in the league at that time.
Close.
Definitely the one best player.
Three
LeBron
of the
was
top five, probably.
At least three of the top 10.
Yeah.
We'll say three of the top 10 players in the league
safe.
at that time.
Yeah.
And they assembled those guys, and they lost to the Mavericks in the first try. But they made it to the finals.
But that was because Dirk Nowitzki was due.
Dirk Nowitzki was.
You know what I mean?
Dude,
like
he was untouchable in that finals.
Yeah, like he was due. He wanted it. He went and
Tyson
got it.
Chandler played, the best he's ever played in his life.
Yeah.
Jason Kidd.
Balled out. Good for him. Phoenix guy, originally drafted by the Phoenix Suns.
No, he was actually drafted by the Mavericks.
Yeah.
And then we traded Michael Finley and Steve Nash for Jason Kidd.
That's right.
We drafted Steve Nash.
Yes.
Traded those guys. And then, say Jason Kidd got in I want to say an altercation. I don't know the whole story. I remember it had to do with his wife, something along the lines of I think he was hit his wife, and Jerry Colangelo don't stand for that. He don't stand for that.
No DVs, buddy.
No. Not only that, but no stepping out of line.
Oh,
Jerry Colangelo did not stand for any guys that were going to be putting any kind of stain or bad press on his team. You were gone.
Is Nash still a coach?
No, he got
only
fired.
Made that 1 year, maybe 2 years. I don't know.
I think it was 3 or 4 years. I
Did
can't remember
he? I don't
exactly how
remember.
long he coached. It was a minute, but he got fired by the Nets. And, honestly, it was a weird thing when he took the job. Just because, I don't know. That just didn't seem like it was a fit for me. I was excited for him because I love Steve Nash.
Yeah.
But you know who could coach this team? Who should come coach our team? Steve Nash. Maybe he would bring us to 7 seconds or less.
Go.
Just go. Because that's the thing. Is like, dude, we've got this offensive firepower. Just go.
They don't.
One of the things that I was watching today, I'm watching earlier this game, actually. Probably the first half of the Thunder and the Pelicans. And I'm watching the Thunder's ball movement. And it's just ball swinging from edge to edge, inside, outside, all around. Anybody
because Zion's not playing.
Of course he's not playing. Yeah, of course not playing. He's never going to play. That's actually one of those things where we'll talk about this maybe another time. That's one of the draft ideas I had out there, which was the sports teases. Players that you just like, dude, just get it together, bring it together. And the person that I immediately thought of was DeAndre Ayton.
Oh, yeah, Greg Ogden. How about him?
Oh, Greg Oden.
Oden, yeah, Oden.
Dude,
yeah.
100. But that was another one of those just Brandon Roy.
Yeah.
Do you remember that Portland Trailblazers team? Like, dude. Oh, man, if those guys could have kept healthy.
That was a big setback.
Dude, Nicholas Batum was at, when he first came into the league, Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Greg Oden, dude. If they'd been able to stay healthy and stick together, that would have been one heck of a team. But anyway, like I said, sports teases, and Zion Williamson is definitely in that, where it's like when that guy came into the league, I don't think anybody came into the league with more fanfare since LeBron. I'm probably wrong. But
in college, he was a baller, man.
Remember when he blew out his shoe? Dude. Like he exploded his shoe.
Oh, yeah, right out of his shoe, right there in the middle of the key. Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, yeah. But he just was so electric in college, and you had so much hope for him. And then
I just wonder, because, he's got to be every bit of 300 pounds, right?
I would say 280.
Okay, 280, like north of 280. If he could play it, if he could get down to 250, do you think that takes away from the thing about his game that's unstoppable right now is when he drives to the rim. Like, he's just so big and powerful, you can't stop him.
Well, and he's quick.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like, he's not just like big and powerful. He is quick, man.
And explosive.
Yeah, like
crazy explosive.
His vertical is through the roof for a dude that size. Like, I think if anybody loses 30 pounds, it's going to be a lot better on your body.
Yeah,
to where he'd probably be healthier.
Yeah, I'm just thinking because a lot of the injuries he gets are joint injuries and soft tissue, like a hamstring, where it's how much of that is just because he is just so big.
Well, and you kind of wonder, like, that's a guy, again, he lives off of talent, right? Like, he's the most talented guy on the floor in high school, in college, and he probably didn't take care of his body like he should.
No,
he probably
doesn't. Famously doesn't.
Yeah, he treats his body like an amusement park, right? And you can't do that if you want longevity and be established player in the league. Your body comes first, and you see it over and over. And with him, I think it's just magnified because of how big he is and how athletic he is. So you wanted him to be successful, but that's like, dude, hamstring, like, okay, outside of how are you pulling a hamstring? If you're a professional athlete, crazy things happen. But how is your routine not so dialed in at this point that you know when your body's ready to go, right? Outside of a crazy stretch play or whatever. Obviously those things happen. But when you're just like all of a sudden you tweak a hammy, you're like, bro, like you ain't just a dude that just got off the, rolled off the couch to go play 35 and older league, right? Like that's where I'm afraid. Like I pull a hip flexor, I'm like, oh shoot, like I didn't stretch that, I forgot. These guys, this is what they get paid to do.
That's the thing that kills me. So one of the sometimes a guy's just going to get an injury, like a hamstring injury. It's going to happen. Sometimes you just don't know it's coming. But you're right when you say that that's literally what this paid to. Zion Williamson is getting paid north of $30 million a year. Your sole job is to be in shape. That is your job. The team is providing you with all the things that you need to be in shape. They have the weight room. You can guarantee they've got the chefs out there.
Oh, and that even if they don't, you have the money to pay for a chef.
Yes.
You ain't paying a chef $30 million a year.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? You pay him $200,000 a year to be your chef.
I will be his chef for $100,000. I'll be his chef for $150,000, bro.
Right now, let's go.
Zion, I will learn how to cook.
Yeah, no joke.
Just hire me, baby.
That's what I'm saying. So he just doesn't care.
No.
And a proven point of that, even though he's much lighter, is Mikal Bridges, right? These guys, even LeBron at 41, he's still balling, and he's got bings and bruises all over, I'm sure, but they taking care of their body.
Yeah. And say that is the difference. Like I said, we talked about this last time, the difference in players and the way that they age.
Yep.
LeBron is famous and the way that he takes care of his body and he works out and he is maniacal about it. And that's how you make it 21 years in the league and you stay. He said he's still going to make an All-NBA team. Now, I'm saying that because the people I've heard that have the vote have said, like, yeah, he's on my ballot because name another forward out there that's considerably better than him when you have 6 guys to pick from.
And for how old is he now?
39. It'll be 40.
Right. So, I mean, he still plays above the rim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
did you see that dunk he had?
Yes,
that
dude.
steal and dunk
The
in the
end
last
of the
game?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, that guy is 39 years old, and he probably dunked on a kid that's in his 20s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, that hurts, dude. That's basically dad just dunked on you in a game, bro.
That is what's truly crazy, guys. It's truly crazy. Because this is like a goal that LeBron had set that he'd be able to play in the NBA with his son.
Yeah.
His son. Guys, in the NBA with his son. I mean, you hear about this happening in baseball. Ken Griffey and Jr. and Sr. played together. Right? That's not that big a deal.
Baseball's not a physical sport.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because you're talking about a sport where it's like, hey, man, can you still put a ball in play with the bat? Yeah, you can do that. Can you hang out in right field and not embarrass your team? Yeah, you can do that. Now it's even, you can just sit, literally all you have to do is be a designated hitter. You don't even have to play in the field anymore. Can you do that? Yeah. In basketball, you are exposed on every single play if you can't keep it together athletically.
No. Yeah. And the quickness, the agility, the stop and go, and the joints and the ligaments, like you're like, dude, how are you playing?
And it's not to say, I mean, it's clear that LeBron he's aged, but I mean,
sure.
When I say he's aged, most time you'd look at him and say he's playing like a 35-year-old, 34-year-old, not a guy that's almost 40. And his son is he's draft eligible next year. Now, if he gets drafted, it's nepotism to the max because you're hoping that LeBron will come and play for your team because he said he'll be a free agent this year. And he wants to play with his son. That's his number one goal. So it's
he'd probably do it for next to nothing.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him.
I wouldn't either. It'd be the coolest thing in the world, man.
Can you imagine both of you on the court? Just that whole, even if it's one game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But can you imagine how much the rest of your teammates would effing hate it?
You think?
I think.
What if they were good, though?
I mean, but the problem is Bronny, I think he averaged 5 points a game for USC. It's also hard for me to say this. One, I'm not a draft expert. Two, Bronny had a cardiac episode before the season even started. So, I mean, he has that to deal with. And he's not near as big as his dad. He's like 6'3".
Yeah,
right?
Which sucks for him.
It does suck for him. It does. But, I mean, we're just watching Lugens Dort for the Oklahoma. He's 6'3", and he plays forward position at 6'3". But he's freaking built so he can do it. How did we get onto LeBron James again? Something along the lines of average.
Suns suck.
Okay, so I wanted, again, fact-checking myself. This is not a career high for Devin Booker in points per game. It was last year, but it's almost. Last year he was 27.8. This year he's 27.1. So
he's there.
28 to 27. This is his prime, and we're talking about a team that's going to get swept by the freaking Timberwolves.
Yeah, and they aren't no schlub, dude.
But they are.
But they're not. That Ant Brown guy or whatever.
He played terribly last night.
But he's still like, it's like he just knows, bro. I don't know. Like that whole game is.
This is my thing. There's no ball movement with the Suns. It's isolation basketball. Either it's ISO for Bradley Beal, ISO for Devin Booker, or ISO for Kevin Durant. There is no ball movement. There are no plays being run. There's no actions, right? All you got to do is defend off of one screen. That's it. Now, the one thing I will say about the Timberwolves is, dude, that Jaden McDaniels, he plays some serious defense. He's long, and he gets through screens. So if he's only got to play through one screen, that's his like number one thing he can do is get through a screen.
Matt Ishbia will fire Vogel,
and he absolutely should.
Yeah, if they get swept, if they don't come back and win both games here and make this a series again, if they go back to Minnesota and Minnesota only needs to win that one, it's over. It's over. And the one thing I will say that I've never been a believer in with the Timberwolves is I never believed that they were mentally tough. I think Anthony Edwards is. I don't think anybody else on that team is. But I will tell you this, they're proving me wrong, and they're proving that our team is the soft team. Because, the way that the Suns just throw the basketball all over the court with no regard with ball security. I mean, the team shoots at the ridiculously high field goal percentage clip,
But it doesn't matter because they're giving up 17 more possessions to their team per game because they're constantly turning the ball over.
Can't win.
I hate watching that team so much. And I really hope that they get swept. And I mean this in the long term because then they're going to have to really take a look at this team and say, okay, what needs to change? What needs to change? Bradley Beal, you need to become an actual point guard. You need to really learn how to become a point guard. Or, this would be nuts if this happened. I heard somebody suggest it. It was Dave Burns of the Burns and Gambo show on 98.7 FM. And I kind of was like, that'd be awesome. And that is bringing Chris Paul back. Because he's going to be a free agent this year.
Did you see that there's a picture of Chris Paul in the stands at the Mavericks game after?
No.
Yeah, and like it's after Luka did something, and it's like a still shot, and it's like a disappointed face on Paul's face, and he's in the front row, like you can't like not see it, and they were making it huge, and all it said, the caption says, "When you see it," like it's just, and you kind of see Chris Paul's face when you start looking, you're like, and then they zoom in, but it's like, oh man.
See, there's Lugan's door I was talking about. That's basically the same build of Bronny. 6'3". He's got, he's a pretty strong kid. Lugan's played 1 year at ASU. He was projected to be a first-round pick. He ended up going undrafted to the Thunder. And he's turned himself into like an all-defensive NBA player. Like he's
crazy, yeah.
And he, again, forward position, 6'3", and he gets it done because he's built like a freaking linebacker.
Well, he doesn't play around, dude. Just get to work. He just has to work, it looks like.
No, he definitely has gotten to work because, one, he works hard on the defensive end, and he's turned himself in the ability to shoot the three ball, which there is probably no thing that you could do to make yourself more like indispensable on a team than be able to play ridiculously good defense and hit an open three. I mean, that's all that we want out of Josh Okogie with the Suns. He already plays a great defense. Just dude, if he could shoot at a 35% clip, he would be indispensable to the team. He would always be on the court. But the fact that he shoots like 18%, he's unplayable.
Did you see that bank shot running hook shot?
Yeah, dude.
That's ugly.
Yeah, I don't think it even counted. What, you got called? Oh, no. Oh, man, it was a shot clock violation.
Oh, that sucks.
Anyway, I don't know. Dude, I'm at a loss for the Suns, man. I'm getting to the point where I'm hearing people talk about we need to trade Devin Booker to be able to get more assets back, which I find that to me is absolutely, that's a no-go. That's a non-starter. I will not allow anybody to say that trading Devin Booker is a good idea because, one, remember what we were told when it came to trading Steve Nash? Oh, it's the best thing for the long run. We got nothing out of that, and we got to watch Steve Nash play as a Los Angeles Laker. Now, he barely played because he got hurt.
Yeah,
but that
was
sucked.
So hard to see.
Yeah, it freaking sucked.
He might, in between that and the Spurs, those are the two teams he definitely shouldn't have went to at that time.
No, cannot accept that.
Yeah, I agree.
There's no way, dude. Devin Booker needs to finish his career in the Suns. I mean, he needs to be our Larry Fitzgerald. We don't have very many of them, right? But he needs to be the one. Because how many times can you look at our history and say, this is the guy that we drafted and he was so good that he's going to end up in the Ring of Honor? How many guys? Not many.
No.
Not many. I mean, the one guy that comes to mind for me is Dan Marley. That's the one guy that comes to Thunder Dan, baby. And he didn't even get to finish his career with us. He went off to the Heat.
Yeah,
I think he ended to the Cavaliers after that, too.
I don't even know. I remember he was in Miami. I don't remember.
Yeah. But I mean, we drafted him. Great player. We had a lot of success with him. But I can't. Ooh, ankle tweak. Larry Nance. Ooh, I hate seeing ankle tweaks. But I can't think of any other player. And I know I'm being short-sighted here because there's got to be other guys. But
I'm sure there is.
But there's not anybody I can think of that actually got to finish his career with the Suns. So I can't abide that. I won't abide trading Devin Booker as a viable strategic option to no, we're not. It's not happening. Not doing it. If that happens, I'll freaking lose my mind. I will be way more pissed if that happened than if the Cardinals traded the number 4 overall pick.
No, dude, I cannot wait. I cannot wait
tomorrow,
dude.
I
know.
I am not gonna lie.
I'm gonna FaceTime. I gotta remind myself to FaceTime Chalet.
Dude, I am seriously creating coal.
What time's the draft start? When's the first
that's
pick?
A good question. When does the draft start? I swear, I'm like creating coal in my anus right now with how like stressed I am about this.
I know, but I just cannot wait to see it. Oh my gosh! I just got a meme that says it's that "Reunited When It Feels So Good" song.
Yeah.
And it's O.J. Simpson with his because he died on that day.
No.
Oh my gosh, dude! Reunited on April 11th, dude.
That is
the internet is such a dark place. Dude,
I was like, that is some dark humor right there.
Oh, it's funny. Is it too soon? I don't know, but you just want to laugh, dude. I had to explain to my daughters. We saw the Broncos, when the Bronco go by, and had to tell them about that Bronco and the whole chase and. Then I had to explain to him like why he wasn't found guilty, and I said, well, because we were listening to that song.
If it does not fit,
if the glove don't fit, you must acquit.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
But it's from that song, is it Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous by Good Charlotte? Or there's another one where they talk about unless you've got the money for Johnny Cochran, right? And they're like, who's, and I had to explain this whole thing, and I'm like, man, and then this meme.
Dude, that is dark.
Oh, dude, it's so terribly funny.
But yeah, that's terrible.
To
answer the question, the draft starts at 5 tomorrow.
Okay, 5 o'clock. So at 4:55, I'm gonna call Chalet.
What are you doing?
Dude, I have no idea. What is tomorrow? Thursday?
Tomorrow's Thursday. So I will say this. I'm actually super stoked. So we should
go to a restaurant and watch.
My youngest brother and his wife, who have been living in the Dominican Republic for the last 5 years plus, are coming home tomorrow.
Oh, that's
We're coming home tonight, late tonight. I'm very excited because I haven't seen him, or I haven't seen his wife in I think 6 years. I haven't seen him in probably 4.
Really?
And they've got 2 little kids that I've never met.
Cool.
So
busy weekend.
Yeah, I thought they were just coming to visit, but I found out they're actually coming to move, and I'm like,
oh right,
I'm stoked. I'm stoked about it. So tomorrow is going to be a little bit of a funky one to me, but dude, tomorrow's going to be so stressful.
I mean, really, after, let's say, I think there's 3 minutes on the clock for every pick or 5 minutes.
That's 10.
Is it? Oh my
it's such a stupid amount of time. Because it's like, dude, you're telling me you don't know what you're picking?
Yeah.
I understand you're going to entertain some trades, but come on. Teams don't, especially, this is the one that really kills me. The number 1 overall pick should be, the draft has started, and the Chicago Bears are the first pick select. It shouldn't be 10 minutes. They've had months.
They've been doing this, yeah.
Yes.
And I get that your plans change based on who's taken.
Yeah.
Right? So I get it. But 10 minutes is a long time.
It is a long time.
You're just trying to keep people interested and make them stay for viewers and all that stuff.
And sell ad space.
We don't want that. We want a 3-minute clock. Get it on, get it over with, let's go.
I think 5 minutes is fair. Actually, you know what?
Sure.
I might be wrong about this. I'm going to check it out right now.
I didn't think it was 10 minutes. I think it's 7. I want to say 7. My instinct was going to say 7, but I have no idea. So, listen. So, we're going to change gears because the Suns suck.
I did check it. It is 10 minutes. It's stupid. But
have you seen the new craze of slap boxing?
I have seen clips of it, but I've never actually watched the whole thing, and it looks brutal.
Okay. What barbarian came up with this idea? I mean, okay, and I have a love-hate with it. Like, I can't stop watching it because the amount of force that these gentlemen generate against each other is insane, and then they don't get knocked out.
It is truly barbaric.
It's out of control. And, like, I would rather be punched. Slapping hurts.
Yes.
Like, it stings forever.
Not just being slapped hurts, slapping hurts.
And, dude, I've gone down a rabbit hole of this, and it is like these guys' faces, like it's almost like it's a macho man thing. It's a machismo thing for sure, in the sense 100%. Of like, you're going to go down before me. And you see these guys' face because they don't switch sides, like as far as like what side of the face they're using.
Dude, it gets so swollen.
They get black and blue almost immediately, and you're like, and then there's like rules, right? If you hit them too hard with the palm, like they will review it, and if you hit them more with the palm versus the hand or whatever. But I think it's Dana White that started this, and you got to give him credit. I want to say he's the reason why we have slap boxing.
I'm going to check this out to see.
But oh my god!
Because if you were to ask me, I would have said this originated out of like Siberia, Russia.
Oh no, I think Dana White picked it up, and I don't know why he's the reason. He's the one I think of, but I could be wrong. But it is insane the amount of
I was right.
Is it Siberia?
So, slap fighting reportedly began in Russia and typically involves 2 opponents slapping each other across the face with an open palm.
But then, what in the U.S., who sponsors it in the U.S.?
That's a good question. Okay,
I'm pretty sure Dana White's involved in this.
Okay, let's see here. Who sponsors slap boxing?
Yeah, because I'm telling you, like I would never participate in it ever. Like, there's not an amount of alcohol or anything in this world. There's money. We all have a price, let's be honest. But it just, the pain, dude, I don't know, man. Oh,
you're right.
Dana White.
But so here's the actual answer. Global energy drink company Monster Energy has been named as the inaugural commercial partner of Power Slap, Dana White's new slap fighting organization.
See, dude. Oh.
But it originated in Russia, so we were both right.
Russia's.
Dude, I got to say, this is my thing about it. Listen, if you are unhinged enough to participate, whatever, be my guest. I can't think of anything that sounds, well, I can think of a a lot of things that sound less appealing, but it's on the list,
dude. It's
of things I will never, ever do.
Participate in.
I will never participate in,
but I will watch. I would probably go. I'd probably go to an event.
Clips. I'm not going to watch a whole thing.
Would you go to an event reasonably priced, right? And we'll get into ticket prices next.
Nothing's reasonably priced.
Let's just say it was like, okay, well, I'm going to go check it out, right? Like you get a group of us together. I'm like, hey, let's just go see what it's like.
Yeah.
It's like midget wrestling. Never been, but I want to go. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that reminds me of on Dodgeball when it's ESPN the Ocho, where it's like obscure sports quarterly.
That's what
midget tossing goes big.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I've had friends that have gone to midget wrestling and they say it's the coolest thing to watch, and I would definitely go to that.
I will say this, man. If Dana White wants to say, hey, we want the JJ and Pug show to come and I'll be there.
I'll go.
But I'll tell you this, I'm not going on my own. I will be paid to go or I'll go for free, but I am not paying to go.
Well, no, because the prices of tickets is out of control.
Out of control. For anything, but this is something we were going to talk about last time, but we decided to save for now.
So my girls have had music in their ears since they were 3, right? We gave them our old phones, those iPods, just for music from the time they could put headphones on.
Yeah.
And they are now late teenagers.
Which means they love music and they're going to want to go to music.
Yeah. So that's kind of our thing that we do, right? We travel a little bit here and there. One of the things we do is we go to concerts. Like my kids have seen George Strait, they've seen Chris Stapleton, they've seen Little Big Town, they've seen Reba McEntire, the list it just goes on, right? They've seen some iconic people, and Taylor Swift twice, right? Like that, which is huge for girls, right?
That's big time.
So that's what they do. But when you start looking at ticket prices for people, it is out of control right now, especially at like Lainey Wilson. She's kind of a big deal in country music right now.
No idea she is.
She was on Yellowstone as like a guest appearance thing, and she did some singing there. And she's like, I don't know if she's a TikTok starter with the whole how that's all kicked off for a lot of people. However, she's not big enough to sell out.
She's not an arena.
She's not at what is that farm? I always want to call it State Farm, but it's not. It's no, it is State Farm.
Yes. What is
the
it?
Cardinal Stadium.
No, State Farm Stadium.
Yeah, it used to be University of Phoenix.
Yeah. So
she's not big enough to sell that out, I don't think.
So she's not an arena star. She's a concert hall star.
Yes. So like she's
Arizona
playing,
Federal.
Yeah, or she's playing at the Toyota Center in Prescott.
Okay.
And dude, tickets for her are $340 each.
That's a hard pass.
And I'm like, okay, look, you're playing in Prescott. I got to get there.
Yeah.
Right? It ain't like I'm coming home. I mean, I could come home that night, but I don't
You're
want
not going to.
Right? So I have to get a hotel room. And you're playing in Prescott and those seats are back, bro. Like I'm like, and my daughter, I would love to take the two of the old, actually all 3 of them would love to go. But the fact that I would have to with fees, because fees with ticketing is out of control.
Dude, that's another thing. When I saw that the DOJ was going to file a lawsuit against Live Nation, I'm like, thank goodness, because this is a freaking monopoly that needs to be stopped.
So there is an app called Tick Pick that actually, when you see,
have you seen all the commercials for that?
No,
dude, it's fantastic. They're like, oh, check out my Tick Pick. They're like, what? Yeah, my tickets for the game. They're like, oh, fantastic wordplay. Yeah, fantastic.
So that one, at least it tells you, like, it obviously has fees, but when you see the price of the ticket, it's already included. Whereas like Ticketmaster, they'll say, oh, it's $80 a ticket. But then you go to add out, you're like, it's actually $180 a ticket. There's $100 in associated fees. You're like, what?
Yeah. That's actually one thing I appreciate about it. This is something you and I talked about a lot, is just tell me the price.
Yeah.
Just tell me the price. I don't want to be surprised at the end.
Yep.
I can't remember if it's Vrbo or if it's Airbnb. One of them, when you go to book, you can check the box to say include all fees in the price. So when you're looking and comparing, it's like, this is the total price.
That's what I
mean.
mean.
There won't be anything after checkout. This is it. And to me, that was so appreciated. One, I don't even know why I have to check the box. Just include it anyway.
It should be like, why would anybody not want to know the price?
Yeah, like no, I want to be shocked at the end. No, hold the surprise
Save
for
it
me
for later.
Yeah,
no, but dude, it's but so there's another guy. Like, you ever heard of Benson Boone? Okay, that's what I'm saying, right? Even his freaking tickets are like $200 a piece. You're like, bro, you have a couple good songs. You're slowly making your way up, but my Lexi would love to go, and I'm like, listen, I can't just have you go and me go, right? Or you and mom. That's not right. But I got to pay $700-800 for that. I'm like,
that's
for what? Like, and I'm not even talking good seats either. It's out of control, man.
Dude, so the last concert I remember going to, I'm almost positive the last concert that I went to was Shalane and I actually went to Panic at the Disco in Albuquerque.
Let's go.
He's done now. He's not performing anymore, which is a bummer. But we actually went to 2 of his shows during that tour. We went to the one here at Gila River, which is West Valley in Glendale. We went to the one with Carl and Kara, actually. We went to that one. It was awesome. I was blown away because this guy went for 2. I mean, his show was for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And he's got some range. And he did not break, dude. His pipes were good from start to finish.
That's crazy.
And I was blown away. So then when Shalane said, hey, I want to go see him again, I'm like, oh, just let me know when next time he comes around town. And she's like, well, he's actually going to be in Albuquerque. Do you want to take a trip? I'm like, sure. Let me and you road trip to Albuquerque. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So we did. Went to Albuquerque. We did the show. And that was the last time I did it. And I remember then dude, we went to it was the crappiest venue. And it was like the rodeo grounds in Albuquerque.
It's Albuquerque, though.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never heard anything nice about Albuquerque.
No, I haven't. And I have family that lived there who moved here. And they have good things to say about it because that's home.
I'm sure, yeah.
It's home.
You never hear anybody say, oh, Albuquerque's such a nice place. No.
I will say this. When I'm there, I look at parts of it. I'm like, hey, that doesn't look so bad. But my brother and I were actually just having this conversation today, asking why does Arizona have nearly 7.5 million people living here, and New Mexico, which is right next door, with very comparable climate, have 2 million people? What's the difference? And I didn't have an answer other than to say, well, New Mexico must suck. That's all I got. I mean,
I don't know.
We're the same latitude, same longitude,
same landscape.
Basically, I mean, the only difference is the Sonoran Desert isn't in New Mexico. That's about it. Outside of that, it's like very comparable. And honestly, there's a lot of like mountain ranges in New Mexico and areas like that are gorgeous, just beautiful. But I don't know why, and I couldn't give you a single answer. I mean, there's probably someone that knows the answer. The only thing we could come up with was like it must be something political, because
it's typically, I think, a Democratic state, but
it's
I don't
a blue
know.
state.
But yeah, so I don't know. But I don't know what.
But Arizona, a purple state.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're not like we're far off.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't
It's
understand.
not considerably different, but anyway, the point we're trying to make is there must be something there that doesn't translate, because Arizona's got, like I said, 7.5 million people, one of the fastest growing communities, cities in the nation, while New Mexico, right next door, doesn't grow. Yeah, there's not a single major sports team in Albuquerque.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's not at all.
Not
Santa Fe, nothing. Nope.
Nope. And when you think of like the cities you know of, Roswell is probably the one most.
That's
people
what I was
know
thinking
of.
first. That alien stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how we got on the topic of Albuquerque.
When you said there's no sports team, you know where my mind went, right? Was that meme or that the TikTok you sent me that your niece or somebody sent you?
Oh yeah, the Salt Lake
the
teams.
Super Soakers, bro. I was, dude.
That is truly awful.
It is so awful. It's funny.
Dude,
it is so good.
Yeah, that was pretty good, man.
I love the way she says that because it's super and soap. So it just moves on. Oh, dude, I was dead. I was like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah, dude, there's some weird things going on up there, dude.
Yeah. So, but anyway, concert tickets suck.
Yeah, dude, they're out of control. It's to the point where, like, for me, I am not a huge concert goer. I enjoy, like I said, with Panic at the Disco, I was like, dude, this guy he's an amazing performer. Yeah, of course I'd want to watch more of that.
Yeah. I'm
not going to spend what it costs. I remember then, I want to say we spent like, I don't know, maybe $80. And I remember like, oh, $160 for you and I to go? Jeez. Oh, okay, let's do it. Dude, there's no freaking way you're getting to any concert now for only $80.
Oh, no.
There's no chance. And like you just talked about, 2 people I've even heard of. And they're north of $200 a person.
Dude, it's crazy.
That's unbelievably stupid.
I think, so you remember Taking Back Sunday?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I was going to send you a song. There's a song that I heard. It's a collaboration with them and 2 other bands. It's freaking good.
Dude, we're going to Taking Back Sunday in May.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're playing at the Van Buren.
Oh, I don't even
It's
know
like a
that.
standing. It is. There's probably some
those
VIP, but it's
venues,
going to be.
dude.
It's a small personal venue. We're going with Kara and Carl, and
Yeah.
it was actually. I think we got it for Carl for his for Christmas gift, and that's like because who doesn't like Taking Back Sunday from our era,
Dude?
For the most part,
I
right?
remember I tried to tell people I didn't like them. I liked them.
Just try not to be that. No,
Well,
I
it
don't
was
want to.
because there was the pop punk.
Yeah.
And then there was the screamo punk, and then there was a little bit more of the emo punk.
Screamo.
Dude.
Yeah.
There are sometimes, like I said, I liked to say that I didn't like it. Truth be told, I kind of did. Every once in a while, you just wanted to be in your car and just let out some primal scream
Dude,
that didn't make any sense.
Make damn sure cute without the E. There are some, and
Cut.
they're playing. And there.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. Cute without the E, meaning
Yep.
cut
Yeah.
from the team. That's what it was. Yeah. So this song is called "Love You a Little." It's with the Maine. Do you remember the Maine? Okay, so the Maine's actually local. They're a local band from here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I remember listening to. They did an Akon cover, and at the very end of it, they're like 480 602, like stuff like that. Where it's like, hey,
throwing it up.
exactly.
Right.
So it's with the Maine, Taking Back Sunday, and some new artist who I've never heard of. Her name's Charlotte Sands. So when I first heard this song, I'm like, dude, this song is really good. And so I looked her up and I started listening to a couple of her songs. I think that maybe I like. I'm like, not really doing it for me. But the Taking Back Sunday, the main part of it, you're like, yeah, dude, this is a good song.
Well, they've got a new album out, and they've got some. It's got some. I mean, it's decent music. It's very retro. Taking Back Sunday, like their sound is still the same.
I love that, dude. I'm not gonna lie, dude. And I know that there's like some sort of scientific evidence back there to tell you like the music from your high school youth, you'll never rise above. Like, I feel confident in saying it's never getting better than that.
It'll
dude.
always be good.
It's always good.
That's why you're still jamming to it in your car right now.
Absolutely. I just sent you a link to that song, so I want you to listen to it and I want you to tell me what you think. I'd love to play it on here if I could, but I still
all these rights and crap.
Yeah, dude, I don't want to get sued. I don't want to get a cease and desist letter.
It's not like we're getting paid, so I don't know why we would get sued. It's not like we're making a profit off of it. It's so dumb.
I don't know. It's one of those
In
things.
fact, they would probably get a download by somebody.
Yeah.
You know what
Someone's
I mean?
going to stream it and they'll get
Yeah,
6
so
cents
they
from
should be
it.
paying us for it.
Yeah, it's free publicity, baby.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of bands like that where like every once in a while I'm going to listen to them like, I want to play that on the show so bad. In fact, I've actually reached out to probably 6 or 7 bands on Instagram and on Facebook through their DMs to say, hey, I'd like to play a clip. And I never hear anything back.
They probably get millions of them a day.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's also one of those things where like I don't even know if their DMs are actually even open. So maybe I'm not getting through to anybody. But it is also one of those things where I'm like, we're not big enough.
Dude,
I mean, we don't have a legal department,
YouTube
bro.
don't give a bro. When you play that stuff on YouTube, they literally will call you.
Oh yeah, no,
it's like, how do you know? We just played it.
Yeah, well, it's because dude, AI baby, it knows everything.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I don't do it because we are on Google, we're on YouTube. So I mean, we're not visually on YouTube. By the way, for those of you like, oh, I could watch the show on YouTube.
That would be cool.
No, we're not there yet, quite yet. But we are audibly on YouTube. So if you want to listen to us on YouTube Music, or if you want to listen to us on YouTube, you can do so. You just can't see our faces. Which, probably a good thing for the moment. Although you'd love to see the shirt I'm wearing, and you'd love to see my hat.
Oh my gosh, dude, you're like a retro, like right out of a Contra video game.
Dude, so I saw, again, we were talking about this earlier. I got this awesome Contra shirt, the Contra video game, NES 1984, whatever it is.
Vintage.
Such a fun game. But the characters on it are not the Contra characters. It's Rambo and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger from Predator. It is dope. Instagram got me, man. They advertised this T-shirt to me. I'm like, yeah, they know who I'm all about. They know this hits right here.
Algorithm scores, dude.
Exactly, the algorithm scores. Yeah, dude. So going back to the one of the big issues, dude. Everything's so expensive now. Everything. I'm never shocked when somebody tells me this cost that. This cost that. My buddy just got his truck leveled, not lifted, leveled. And just slightly larger size tires on it. I'm like, oh, dude, it looks real good. I didn't even ask him what the price was. I'm like, dude, it looks good, man. He's like, yeah, it finally feels like my truck. Because he went from an F350 long bed. I mean, this thing had to have been raised 6 inches at least. Massive tires on it. And he's like, I just don't need it anymore. I don't use it anymore. I have a work truck.
What did you use it for before?
He just used it because that's the type of truck he wants, right? He just likes it. But he has a work truck that's a 250. So anything he needs to haul, he can just use his work truck. So then he got rid of it and he got himself a brand new F-150, just, regular 3.5 EcoBoost.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So just, like I said, it's a nice truck. It's a freaking nice truck. It's a Lariat. It's brand new. Really nice truck. But it's like, it just doesn't feel like mine. I'm not really loving it. But then anyway, he gets this done now. He really likes it. I'm like, all right, dude, now all you got to do is put on those towing mirrors, the fold out, the large extendables. And he's like, yeah, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I'm all like, well, why not? He's like, do you know how much those cost? I was like, honestly, I don't know. $800 before paint. $800 for mirrors. $800 $100 for mirrors, man.
You don't need them.
I know. Just screw it, man. Whatever.
What
I'll
do
get
you
a bicycle mirror. Put that on there, dude.
Yeah, right. There got to be something you can just stick out there and hook on this.
Yeah, it's incredible. So having said that, like when you talk about concert tickets, I mean, I would love to see what the actual data is on, because we have data now on inflation of everything. What's the inflation numbers at the rate of which concert tickets are inflated?
Well, I want to know, like, really, what is the artist saying the ticket needs to cost, and then what is the markup for all the other additional people involved in the venue?
Absolutely. What is the actual? What's the artist taking home?
Yeah, and maybe it's a standard maybe it's a standard like fee for all artists. It's, for every ticket sold it's $50. Anything over $50 goes its own way around, right? Everybody gets a chunk of that. I don't know what it is, but I mean, you're talking, we're mentioning people that aren't very relevant. I mean, they are, but they aren't. You talk about out of control, dude. Look at Taylor Swift tickets right now. Anywhere she is right now, it is out of control. And she sells out these $50,000-$60,000 people stadiums. You know what I'm saying? Crazy.
Dude, okay, I'm going to read you this right here. This is just straight off of Google, the very first answer I got. And this is from The Post.
Perfect.
The Post. I don't know what. Yeah. So, number one answer off Google. That's all I can tell you. Last year, the American Economic Liberties Project told the New York Times that 2023's fees added an average of 32%.
That's insane.
To concert ticket prices. They add a third.
That's insane, dude. That's crazy.
Okay? The Wall Street Journal said SeatGeek's average ticket prices had also doubled in the last 5 years, increasing from $125 in 2019 to $252 in 2023.
I've heard that if you buy from like their website, like the artist website, it is cheaper. Like I just got pre-sale Kevin Hart tickets because he's coming in October.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't pay that much, dude. I think I paid $170 for 12 rows back. Like, it was really good. But I think if I got on SeatGeek right now for those same tickets, I probably could sell them for $250 a piece. You know what I mean? Which would be insane. I'm not going to. I'm hoping he's funny.
He will be. That's the one thing about Kevin Hart. You know he'll be funny. I mean, he may not be the funniest guy, but he's going to be funny.
You know who I wish I would have seen from back in the day when he was really good was Dane Cook. You remember him at all?
That never appealed to me. He never was funny.
He just had, I don't know what it was, dude. I only saw
he
one of his
had a moment.
He had a moment where he was just big.
Yeah. He was huge.
There's one of his bits too where he talks about how, dude, this is, and I could relate because at the time I'm married, right? Like I was married then, I'm married now, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he talks about how when you get in a fight with your wife or your girlfriend and, you think the fight's over and then just when you walk away, they throw like that little like bomb. Well, you're just like your father. So and you're like,
turn right back around.
No, he goes downstairs and he's in the basement and he's like, yeah, I am like my father. And he's like, my father was a good man. Like, but I remember thinking, dang, dude, that's so true. Because that's exactly what happens, dude. You get in an argument with your wife or your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever you're into.
Yeah.
They know how to get to you if they want to throw the dagger.
I remember when I got married. So I got asked to do stand-up twice. And It was so freaking nerve-wracking.
Oh, I can imagine.
Super nerve-wracking. It's scary, okay? The very first time I did it, I was freshly married. And the group of people that I was asked to do it in front of, I figured were also probably newly married. Nope. Nobody was. Okay. No. So like 90% of my material was about how life is so different when you first get married, right? One, you don't take anything personally when you're dating. Once you're married, everything's super personal. Everything that your spouse says to you is an attack, right? Everything is about how they're, oh, you're not good enough at this, you're not good enough at that. When in reality, it's like, no, these are all things that are true. They're simply pointing it out because it is true, and they want to help you. Instead, you take it personally as an affront to yourself, right? And like I said, 90% of my material was all about what it's like when you first get married and how that transition's freaking rough. Nobody found it very funny. I mean, I wouldn't say I bombed. I got enough laughs out there. But, dude, that is freaking nerve-wracking, stand-up nerve-wracking. The second time I did it, I got up there and I'm like, all right, well, last time this freaking sucked, and it was probably about a year later. So I'm like, it's probably the same people. And I got up there and I noticed that everybody beforehand was all doing the jokes that I did the year before that I wasn't prepared for. And they were all killing it. right? They were absolutely hilarious. And I get up and I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? Okay. Last year, I said this exact same crap. Nobody laughs. I don't know if it's the same group or not, but whatever. So that time I actually went up there, instead of doing just straight jokes, I did, do you know what Flight of the Conchords is?
No.
Dude, one of the funniest groups. It's a musical group, 2 dudes from New Zealand who just kill me. They're hilarious, but it's all like folksy music with just funny stuff, right? And so I went up there and did that. I had my buddy who played the guitar, and I sang, and it was all off the cuff, freelance, picking people out in the crowd, and that was it, right? And it did well. But dude, I'm telling you, when you talk about like the wife, just when she says that one thing, he just knows how to get at you. That's exactly what I thought of when I'm like, dude, I remember that. I remember when I first got married being like, dude, she just knows. She knows how to get me, and and I know how to get her, and it's in the worst possible way. You shouldn't be that way, but man, I am that way sometimes.
Can't help it.
No, you can't. That's just the way we work, man. Unfortunately, when you're a competitive person, you have to win the fight, even if it is to your true detriment.
Stop.
It's like truly a terrible thing to do.
It's like fighting with my daughter.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's when we both want to win. We both just throw daggers. It's like, I'm not going to stop. Well, I'm not going to stop. Okay, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying so hard to stop.
So obviously, well, never mind. That's something you can worry about in your home. I was going to say, obviously, it's this person and that person. I know who it is, but I don't know that you want to broadcast.
Lexi.
Okay.
She knows she's
never mind.
listening right now. And it's just because she is exactly like me. There is no, like, when it comes to that whole, like, that moment, everything about that. And she's a lot like me in personality, too, which is great for her. She just needs to learn to chill it a little bit, but she's still young. Yeah. But no, I'm not diming her out. She well knows listening to this right now.
Dude,
that it's her.
One of my favorite things, though, is how she totally, like, so when we went and got the burgers out at Randizzle's, right? First off, again, everybody, Randizzle's totally delivered.
So good.
Totally delivered. The way that they chopped up the bacon, and it was in with the cheese.
That is what I think did it more than anything. It was the chopped up bacon.
It was such a small little thing to change. But, like, the way it was in with the cheese. And so, like, every bite was like a mouthful of bacon, a mouthful of cheese. And for me, it was the green. Oh, I gave my review already. Yeah. Fantastic, guys. If you get the chance, stop by Randizzle's. It's good. But anyway, we took, or you brought Lexi with us when we did that. She didn't make it into the clip at all that I posted because I was trying to keep it under 90 seconds. So, apology, Lexi. I really appreciate you being there. And I gave you that cookie. I'm still going to call you to come babysit. You said that will be a payment enough. I'm totally going to hold you to that.
Cash in.
Yeah, absolutely going to cash in. Was that Dort? Was that Lou?
I don't know who that was.
Just somebody just dropped the 3 right there.
Right there on the bench.
No, that was Jalen Williams. I don't know. It was Lou. Yeah, he's right there. Headband guy right up there, walking off the court. Anyway, I'm just impressed by him, the way he's totally carved out a career for himself.
Jeez, they are getting destroyed.
Yeah, this is very embarrassing.
Almost 40 points?
Yeah, dude, it's a 34-point lead right now with 3.5 minutes left in the fourth. Right.
So anyway, food, Lexi.
Yeah. I can't remember.
When I brought her with me to the Randizzle's.
Oh, I basically want to say I'm glad that she came. You know. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. So you're talking about the way she's a lot like you. I love how she totally came to me. She's like, look at what a loser my dad was like in high school. She has your senior picture ready to go.
Oh, gosh, dude. That was a bad photo.
That was totally, the thing is it was totally unsolicited.
Yeah.
She just came right at me.
She's all like, about it.
Dude, like you said, she just ready to drop, man. She was ready to start a fight right there.
Buddy. She's holding on to this photo because arguably my wife really has not changed the way she looks. You know, she isn't. I mean, she gets told all the time she looks like she's in her 20s, right? Mm-hmm. Well, dude, I have like a hat on like half sideways in this photo. And
dude, it's very 2004, baby.
Right. It's
very 2004.
I remember them telling us we couldn't have hats on. And for some reason, my mom was mad because that was my senior picture, you know? But I was like, who cares? Like, you're not going to buy them anyway, Mom. What do you care?
Well, not only that, but dude, this is 2004. Like, if there was any picture that I've seen of someone's senior year that encapsulated the era better, I don't know who it is. That was it, man. Because if I look at my senior picture, which exists somewhere, I don't know what happened to my yearbooks.
We need your yearbook.
I gotta find it. I don't know what happened to it. It's somewhere.
Kara probably has a yearbook.
I'm sure Kara's got it. Yeah. But if I were to look at my senior picture, dude, you would not know that was me.
Really?
Yeah. And I say that because I had a lot of hair. Don't have much hair anymore. That's something that has left me.
You had a lot of hair for when I first met you.
I had long hair.
Really long hair.
Yeah, I had very long hair, but unfortunately the front of my head still a little bit bare up there. That's just the unfortunate fact of getting older. That's the part that's hard for me.
Is losing hair.
Yeah, because I mean, like gaining weight, that's my fault. You know, I can do something. That's my fault. But like losing your hair is just like I can't do anything about that. It's just I'm not going to go and get plugs. I'm not getting implants. Like I'm not doing it. So that just sucks. That's
I'm
the
really
part.
Hoping. Like I mean, I'm 38. I've been told by people who have done my hair, they're like, no, you should be good. Like you'd already be showing signs if you were. And my dad had a full head of hair. My grandpa, which is where you're supposed to get it
From your mom.
Yeah, had a horseshoe head. Like literally like Hulk Hogan.
See, I'll say this. When I hear stuff like that, I'm like, I don't buy any of it. Because me and my older brother had the exact same hairline as my dad and his dad. It's the same. Yeah. My middle brother, he's got a great head of hair. And I can't think of any of my grandparents that had hair like him. So it's like, I think it's all BS.
So do I. Like, my little brother has perfect hairline. Like he has no receding hair, no like widow's peak thing, whatever they call it. Nothing. It is like I'm like, how do you have like nothing? Like it looks like
you say that. 'Cause I was gonna say the same thing about you.
Well,
you have solid
I know,
hairline.
but like there's a little bit, not much. It's pretty solid.
I guess I'm gonna say I'd kill for that, bro.
His is like perfect. I'm like, how
much younger is he than you?
Three.
Oh, so he's brought at the same spot. Like he should be in the same thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would say that. I look at your hairline. I'm like, bro,
I'm not mad.
You're hitting the lottery on that one. Don't be upset about it.
I'm not mad. I'm glad I have hair because I would hate to be bald.
I see those pictures or those commercials for Just for Men, and it's always some dude that's got like a full great head of hair, but it's a little bit gray. I'm like, shut up, man. Shut up. Your biggest problem is it's a different color. Screw you, dude.
I would be so mad to shave my head.
Yeah, I did it one time because I remember one guy telling me, he's like, listen, dude, once you start going bald, you shave your head and you look the same age for 30 years. I was kind of like, all right. I did it one time, and my wife's like, never again. You're never doing that again.
Dude, I feel like such a meathead. I hate it.
Yeah.
And so I lost a bet in 21. Was it 21? 22. In 22, we used to, like, you put a cup down and you have pens and you throw them in there, right? And we would say, oh, if I make this, you're going to do, I was playing with Lexi, you're going to pick up dog poop for a week, boom. And I sink it, right? I'm like, yes. And then we go back and forth, and then she ends up where she's got dog poop for like a month, right? And something to do with me shaving my head. And so I don't know how it happens, but she ends up not getting dog poop at all, and I have to shave my head. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, like there's no, and as a dad, these are those moments where like you can't go back on it.
Oh no, you have to follow
because
through.
You're teaching them like we don't do that regardless. And I was not happy. I mean, I think it was right around the time that I did my first bodybuilding show. So I waited till after that. We went to Disneyland, and I was like, I'll do it when we get back from Disneyland. It was like a month later because I'm not going to Disneyland with a shaved head.
No, dude. You don't want to be a skinhead there.
And the minute we got home, bro, we go upstairs and I let her do it. I said, you can do it. And we sat there and she shaved my freaking head. And dude, I hated every bit of it, dude. But again, I couldn't back out.
I will say for me, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. But the fact that my wife hated it really told me, it's like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
Well, and I have a symmetrical head. I'm lucky enough to where if I had a shaved head, it wouldn't be a problem. I just don't. I may look good, feel good, play good guy.
And when you don't feel like you look good.
Yeah, I feel like there is convenience. I will say that. It is awesome to just like jump out of the shower, wipe down your head, and you're good to go. I get the convenience. I'll
also say this. The thing that really sold me on it, my head was so cool. Like temperature-wise. Like I didn't feel hot all the time.
Yeah, especially coming from that long hair.
Well, no, because I went. So that was the thing is I shaved my head, and then I didn't cut my hair for 3 years. That's where my hair got long, and that's where I was like, well, I'll do it and see what this is all about. And I tell you what, man, the minute I got that haircut, because I got it in July, I felt like my whole body cooled down by 10 degrees.
That was just last year.
Yeah, it was just last
July. Because we went to the lake and did that video, and you pull your hair out of the hat. Dude, that was probably the coolest reel I ever been a part of, still to this day. I don't even care. We should redo that again.
See, the selling point on that was the shorts.
Oh, yeah, the shorts were brilliant.
The shorts were freaking great.
Yeah,
Stupid Carl looking too good, though, man.
It's fine. It was his birthday weekend. He can have that.
Yeah, it was his birthday. That's a fair one.
He can have that.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else on here that we need to talk about. I've had this on here for a while, but I want to congratulate and welcome Hines Ward to Tempe, Arizona.
We talked about him already.
Oh, did I say that?
Yeah, we talked about him already. Him being the head coach or receivers
coach at ASU. Yeah, I'm just glad to have him because he was like one of my favorite players back in the day.
No, and he was a baller.
Yeah,
I love his role in The Dark Knight. rises.
Oh yeah, he returns the kick for a touchdown
and doesn't die.
and doesn't know the entire stadium's falling apart behind him.
Yeah, he's just running, and he's so fast when he's running that the ground's coming out from underneath him, and he's good to go. So.
Which is one thing he was never known for.
No,
wheels. Never known for that. The one thing he was known for was smiling as he blocked you, as he ear-holed you. That was what he was smiling. Yeah, that was what he was.
He's the reason why those aren't legal now.
Yeah, he's probably a big contributing factor to that.
Oh, for sure.
So there's that. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, I do want to do the GOAT starting 5 draft. We got.
Oh, I definitely agree.
Let's see if we should we get Carl and Zach back on for that one.
I think so. Yeah.
I think that was a good combo right there.
I think that it'll be a little bit easier now that we've done it, where we kind of know, especially with that. That's an easier one. The sports franchise thing. I'll be honest. I was talking to Carl about it, and he's like, "Dude, I thought it was going to go a different way." And I'm like, "Listen, when I sat down in here, I had no clue what I was going to say. Just because I know you're a big fan of drafts, so I wasn't sure what angle we were going to go at. So is it just the mascot? Is it the organization? Is it a combination, or can it be both?" So I'm like, I don't have any clue. I knew my first pick was going to be the Browns and the Oreos. Other than that, I'm like,
I keep calling them the Oreos.
I was not sure, but I'm glad. But it worked out, and I think now with this one will be a little bit easier because you've got to pick your stop. You got to pick one from every position, and you got a lot to pick from. Yeah,
and I will say that the last draft we did was definitely a little bit more ambiguous, right? And it showed with the teams that freaking Carl picked. Or I'm like, what? The Buccaneers? That's a fantastic team logo and style. Like, but at the same time, I was like, it's all by the beholder. And it also showed up in the voting because most people voting had no idea what they're voting for. Because I remember when my wife voted, she's like, I actually had more in common with what Zach picked, but Eric's my husband, so I'll vote for him. And then I told her what like the thing was. Like, well, this was the thing behind it. Is you didn't have to know about whether or not the team was any good on the field or the court. It was more along the lines of, does their name make any sense, or is it an organization that just sucks and can't get anything right? And she's like, oh, well, that makes a little more sense. And she still would have voted for the Jazz. So you know what? Number 1 overall pick was a strong pick there for Zach.
He did a good job.
Yeah,
but he's coming from Utah. He should have.
Who won that? Who lost it?
Carl lost it.
Oh, Carl lost.
Carl lost.
So when is Carl going to be sitting on the street corner?
I think you sent him some stuff. Did you not, like pictures?
Oh, is that why he asked for it?
That's why he asked for that.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I was hoping that he was just going to be putting together his own shirt and hat so he could wear it around.
Hey, that'd be fine too. Put Soro Fire Protection. That logo,
partnership,
our logo on the side, one arm of it. That's fine,
dude. I was looking again the other day. I was wearing that shirt, the Sorrel shirt, and I looked at that and the logo. I'm like, man, what a great logo!
Oh no,
Carl.
yeah, they did a great job.
That's a fantastic job, man. Like
that was all Carl's idea too, not Kara. Kara gets no credit because she doesn't listen to this.
Yeah, screw you, Kara. But for real, it was one of those things where I really was impressed. I'm like, that's some good branding.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, the guy, their designer, whoever did it was. I mean, those people that do those kind of there's a word, graphic designers.
Yeah.
They're amazing, dude. Like at work, I've been a part of some people that you give them like an idea, and then you're like, "How did you create this on a computer?"
Dude, that's what I think of when I think of our logo. I literally just told the guy, I'm like, "Hey, listen, I really like 80s style retro sunsets, and give me like a shiny font." And
boom,
I was like, "Whoa, that's amazing!"
He did a great job,
dude. I did send him like a couple of images of what I kind of thought, like. Just Google search this, Google search that. But, dude, I mean, the only thing that I changed when he came back with it, that first draft, was I'm like, let's go from the palm trees to the swirls.
Yeah.
And outside of that, dude, he got it. And that to me is amazing.
And I'm telling you, I'm a big believer in I like tattoos a certain way. It's just that I would tattoo on me. And I won't do it. But if I was going to do one for something like that, that would be the one, dude. It just, because I think it would look really cool on like a calf or. Maybe the shoulders are too. It'd have to be bigger, but it would just be a cool.
You don't want to go full on DeAndre Ayton and have your entire back with it.
I don't know,
dude. Have you seen his tattoo?
No.
It's the most illusional tattoo in the world. It's dominating, and it goes from shoulder to shoulder.
That's all it says.
Yeah, I mean, it says it in like a crazy font.
Yeah, no.
But it's just one of the dude. You have to dominate. Yeah. You have to do that for a while. Yes, it's the worst thing. It's like choosing a nickname. You don't get to give yourself a nickname.
No.
Right? You have to be able to say, hey, this is, like for you, we talked about this. Why is it JJ? Well, your mom called you that.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Yeah. For me, it's like, my name's Pugmire. So guess what? Pretty built in.
Pug works.
It's pretty built in.
It's in there.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of imagination done. Mm-hmm. But you don't get to pick a nickname. You don't get to call yourself dominating when by definition you've not.
Yeah, you can't call yourself the greatest player in the world, LeBron.
Hey, you know what? I agree with that. And so one of the things I was telling you before we hit record. Sorry for that. Before we hit record, Jason's been sending me clip after clip after clip of like stuff that was showing how LeBron's not the greatest, and I'm like losing my mind. I'm like, dude, you're making me defend this guy all the time when I don't think he's the GOAT. I think he is solidly number 2. I think he is solidly the second greatest player of all time, and I will defend that.
I will argue all day long.
100% defend that because, and I actually
it doesn't matter. There's not a statistical data you could give me that'll make it work because it has nothing to do with statistics.
But it should.
No,
and I'm talking about head to head.
I'm saying if you statistically speaking, I mean, Kobe didn't play 21 years.
No, he played 20.
Right. So I guess I didn't realize he played that long.
He played 20 years.
But either way, like for me, it comes down to when you're talking about the GOAT of an era or in a sport, you have to take into account everything about them. And part of go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say.
Head to head.
You're going to say he's got more points. He's got more than this, right?
No. I'm talking about together, playing against each other.
Yeah.
LeBron versus Kobe.
Okay.
LeBron beat Kobe 16 times to Kobe beating him 6 times.
Okay.
And that was when LeBron was playing with some pretty crappy teams because he spent the majority of that time in Cleveland before he went to Miami.
So LeBron was 21. Kobe's 35.
No. Kobe was 30 in the prime of his career.
Oh, in the prime of his career.
I will say some of that also is the fact that that's post-Shaq Kobe. So it was when he was by himself. But the same thing with LeBron. That was the biggest. Do you remember when LeBron left and go to Miami? It was like, oh, why would he do that? It's because the freaking owner of the Cavaliers sucked at actually giving him players to play with. Like, the best player he had to play with was an old Shaq. When Shaq was at the end, when he was traveling from team to team to team to team
just to play.
Just to play. And it was Mo Williams. Do you even remember who Mo Williams was?
I remember the name.
He played for the Bucks. He was a point guard, but he was an undersized point guard. He wasn't great. But he didn't have anybody to play with him. But so it was kind of the same thing with Kobe at that time. So I'm just saying, head to head, LeBron beat him.
But I still, for me, it's so much more than basketball and on the court. It's attitude. It's where he wins. And
I'm not going to say the one thing that nobody can knock Kobe on is his mental fortitude and
relentlessness,
his competitiveness to always prove he was better than you. Problem was he wasn't better than LeBron. He wasn't.
I don't know.
He just wasn't. How many MVPs does Kobe have?
Was it one?
One
How many
MVP.
Does LeBron have?
LeBron has 4.
Does he?
4? Yeah, he's 4. I'm going to say 4, mostly because I don't want to ruin my window that's open right here.
That's fine.
Actually, I will look it up because I want to make sure I'm right about that. Because I will say the one thing that kills me is when I come back and listen to these later, I'm like, dang, I was wrong about that. So I want to make sure that I have this right. Yeah, 4-time MVP. So LeBron, MVP 4 times. Head-to-head, regular season. 16-6. But also like head-to-head points per game. Kobe, 24.5. LeBron, 28. So, like I said, head-to-head, LeBron was better.
But did they guard each other every time? Like I'm asking that out of genuine curiosity.
I would have to actually go back. You have to look at all 22 games to find that out. Knowing the positions they play, I'm sure they guarded each other every once in a while. And I also say this.
Switches and
stuff,
and
also say this, knowing Kobe, there's no way he wasn't saying, I'm guarding LeBron. That's the one thing you can say about
attitude,
Kobe. I'm guarding the best guy.
He wants to guard the best guy, and he wants the ball.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Give me the ball at the end. I want
to. I'm sure you've seen this. It's like a traveling meme or picture of like the draft profile of Kobe Bryant, or like the strengths and weaknesses.
No, I haven't.
Okay, you haven't, dude. I'm gonna have to look it up and send it to you. But one of the great parts about it that cracked me up was he had all these strengths. It gets to the basket, athleticism, size, and then weakness, liking teammates. It was so funny
he doesn't like anybody.
Because he was famous for the fact that he held his teammates to a standard that they could not uphold.
Jordan did.
Yes,
very much like Jordan did.
The difference with Jordan is he had Pippen, who could stand up to that standard. Right? Yeah. He was more than happy to be, Robin to Michael's Batman.
For sure.
Right? Up until, I don't know when that's changed, but he was more than happy to do that the first go around, right?
6 championships.
6-0. He didn't do anything without Michael, right? But he was a part of those 6 championships.
But if you look at playoff percentage of wins and stuff like that, that's why. Did I send you that one with the box of 4, and it had Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry, and LeBron James?
Mm-mm.
It all had to do with percentage of playoff wins, and I think it was just playoff wins and losses. But dude, so like Jordan, Kobe, and even Steph Curry are like .600 something, right?
Yeah, 600 winning percentage.
LeBron 357.
Well, and some of that, if you got to go back, and you'd have to have some context on this. When Kobe had Pau Gasol and when he had Shaq, he went to the playoffs. When he didn't have them, he didn't go to the playoffs. And
So they didn't go with a crappy team to get the. I get what you're saying.
Right. So, and then the same thing with Michael. When Michael didn't have Scottie, he didn't go to the playoffs. Like he was on a crappy team. Like he just didn't get anywhere. The Bulls were a trash can organization until Michael Jordan got there, and they kind of remained that way until they finally got their crap together and started drafting the right guys. So, and that was usually when they got a little bit later in their career, when they're a little bit more established.
Yeah.
LeBron, dude, he was on a crappy Cavaliers team in a crappy Eastern Conference, right? Dude, the Eastern Conference is a freaking joke, and it has been my whole life. It drives me nuts. Outside of those Bulls teams,
it is way harder in the West.
The Western Conference is impossible. So anyway, the thing that drives me nuts about that is but then LeBron was carrying a terrible Cavaliers team into the playoffs every year, basically, and they weren't winning anything because he was on a crap. He was the one guy. He was the guy to do anything. So I know that and I'll also say this, he's made it in the playoffs a lot later in his career, and this Lakers team sucks. I know that they won a championship with him and AD,
but that wasn't in the bubble.
It was a bubble championship.
Count.
I don't care. Exactly. I'm looking at that.
Allow that to count.
100% with you on that one. That's a massive asterisk next to that championship win because LeBron was older, and they had a 2 or 3 month gap before they went back. So he had all this time off to rest and get back into it.
No, yeah,
so
I don't buy it.
But
there should be an asterisk next to that forever.
Yes. You know what the funniest thing is? We'd said that, Wednesdays was going to be non-sports. It's never going to work out, guys. I'm sorry.
We're trying.
Yeah, maybe one day when we start to get to the point where we have to make this a much more regimented, scheduled program, maybe we'll get to there.
When we don't have other lives.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. But and the other thing is what's always going to happen in every show, we're always going to end up talking about LeBron, Kobe, and Michael. That's just always going to happen.
I'm trying to stop.
It's an evergreen topic.
The problem is right now it's basketball season.
And
all we see is basketball.
Yeah.
And you can't help because the memes are crazy. They talk about Kobe and Jordan and LeBron and who's the best over and over. Every sportscast, everybody always touches on it during basketball. You just can't, because I think everybody wants LeBron to be better than them. But the reality is, he's never going to be better than Jordan, and the Kobe Bryant thing can be an argument one way or another depending on what your side is. Right?
I think that LeBron and Kobe is a much easier argument to have because they actually had many years in which they competed against each other.
Yeah,
the Michael LeBron, that's dumb. That one's done and gone for me. I've heard people say, well, I've heard lots of people say that LeBron's the best for this and this. I'm like, then you're completely disregarding the fact that Michael Jordan was the greatest player of all time, and you didn't see him play.
Yeah.
And anybody that saw him play that makes that argument, I have to say, okay, well, that's your opinion. You're wrong, but it's your opinion.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
So Michael Jordan is cemented number one for me.
He has to be. And I don't know anybody, like, how can you, what's funny is when you see players that are like, when they get in this conversation, because these younger guys, there's a video with Shaq where he just wants to get up and walk out of the studio.
Yeah.
Because this younger guy, and I can't remember who he is, but he's talking about how Jordan, and there's no way Jordan could handle LeBron. And you're like, Shaq about loses his crap. And Shaq has played with both of them.
Yeah. Played against both of them.
It's like, so, I mean, you can't, when you're looking at these guys who've played with them, he's like, hang on. You are a kid who grew up watching Jordan on a highlight reel.
Yeah, you
have
grew up
no
in the
idea.
TikTok era.
Yeah. You can't tell me that LeBron's better than Jordan when I can tell you from having played, or Meta World Peace, right? They talked about who is harder to guard. He said Jordan all day.
Which is crazy because Meta was guarding Jordan when Jordan was 38 and 39 years old.
Right. He's still saying Jordan all day. It was because I think he was just he uses the word killer. Jordan was a killer, man. He just, LeBron, and that's what everybody says about LeBron. He doesn't have that. So I think that's why, I don't know. Kobe, the killer instinct is just huge. I didn't realize the stats were so skewed. Yeah, in that sense, but.
And see, but I'm not, when I say these things, I'm not trying to denigrate or downplay how great Kobe was.
Yeah.
I'm only saying it because I think it's a fair discussion to have, a fairer discussion to have. Michael Jordan's number one.
There's no question.
Yeah. So anybody that wants to have that argument, I'd be happy to have.
You're basically fighting for second place now, boys.
Yeah, it is, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, I think that's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to start a little bit later tonight, so we're just we'll cut this a little bit short. The NBA playoffs doesn't make any sense, right?
Suns suck.
The Suns freaking suck.
I hope they come back.
I don't.
And
I don't. I really don't, because
You
I
want
want to see some.
change
I
now?
want to see some serious change, because this was a bad. Whatever they're doing now is no good.
yeah, and Ishba's the guy that'll, or is it Ishba?
Ishbia.
Ishbia.
Yeah,
he
Matt
will,
Ishbia.
He's the kind of guy that'll. It seems like he got the money. And he don't care.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I do like a patient owner, a guy that's been able to say, no, I hired the right people. I'm going to let them get it together. But there's been no point at any point in this season did I watch the team and say the coaching staff's got to figure it out. At no point did I ever
not
think
at
that.
all.
At many points in the season, I thought, well, the players have got to figure it out. At no point did I ever think the coaching staff had to figure it out. It's been disgusting to watch.
Well, and I think players can get you to the playoffs, but coaching gets you
through the playoffs.
and
Which is the argument everybody made about Monty Williams and why Monty Williams had to go, because he wasn't making those adjustments in the playoffs. Dude, Monty playoffs got us to the freaking finals.
Yeah.
And Giannis went supernova.
Right.
And you weren't going to defend that, right? I mean, that was the best we'd ever
And
seen
he
DeAndre
hasn't,
Ayton play.
he has not played like that since.
No. I mean, he's been great.
Sure.
But he's
not supernova. That's a good
exactly,
word. Yeah, that's
dude,
a good word to
100%. Yeah.
that's a good
So,
word.
I mean, Giannis was unguardable in the last end of that series. He was, the closeout game, he was 50 points. It was unstoppable. So, like, what was Monty going to do about that? Now, Monty has to wear the massive fallout that was the Game 7 against the Mavs. He's got to wear that, just like Devin Booker and Chris Paul and Mikal Bridges have to wear that, right? So, I mean, that's bad. And then last year, losing to the Nuggets, that was a bad final loss, and it was just kind of an ugly way to limp out of the playoffs.
Especially after we swept them the year before.
Yes, but the Nuggets went on to win the
But they
championship.
won. So, yeah, like it's not as bad because you're like, well, we lost to the champions. So
Exactly.
they were just destined to win.
Yeah, and the one thing I will say that I love about watching the Nuggets play, it's clear everybody on that team knows their role. They know exactly what they're meant to do, which is when you look at the Suns, nobody knows what they're supposed to do.
Denver's playing legit right now.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that fadeaway for the win shot by Jamal Murray was freaking awesome.
Dude, the balls for that, like, dude, your confidence level is through the roof, dude. You get a switch, and now AD, who self-proclaimed himself as the best defender in the league, and I'm like, bro, you got hosed on a step back.
Yes.
I mean, he had a foot and a half, dude.
So I heard this today. Did you know that supposedly when Jamal Murray was taking the shot, he yelled, Kobe?
Oh, no, dude.
Because if that's real,
That would be epic, dude. Somebody would have picked that up. That'd be out already. There's no way.
I'm saying I heard it on the radio. Like, this wasn't something that somebody wrote on social media. This was a reported on his sports. I mean, they didn't report it. They said they had heard it reported from people on the sideline, and it looked as though that's what he said in the replay.
But what I'm saying is, with all the microphones around, they would have, unless he was like, Kobe. Like,
I would love to see, like, if they could pick it up, because one thing that was at the end of the game. You know, it was loud.
I think he should have said it loud as heck, especially after sinking that. I'd have been like, yeah, that's
exactly
exactly
why you're
right. Oh, no, absolutely. Like, if he did, though, I would like, why would you not say it loud and proud? And the reason why is because if you miss it, then it sounds terrible.
But I'll tell you this, that was also a time you and I went through where you said Kobe anytime you shot anything.
Oh, yeah.
You shooting trash into the basket, Kobe. That was a fun time.
It was a good time. It
was a fun time.
It was just a way to pay respect to a guy that died in a tragic, accident.
But we did it before he died. I was doing it when he was actively playing.
True, but like it seemed like it made like a whole turnaround. It was after he had died.
Yeah.
It was like anything you did that was any kind of shot of any sort was
Kobe.
And you had kids doing it, right?
Yeah.
They were doing it in grade school or whatever, or you had these little kids running around in like little Pop Warner basketball, like Kobe,
Dude, that was a fun time, dude. I still look at it and say that's just tragic.
Yeah,
that he's gone.
It's
Tragic.
unfortunate, yeah, because I think he would have done a lot of good things for communities and the sport itself, and just he's an icon, man.
Yeah, 41 years old, man, 41, and his daughter was what, 13? That's the sadder part. The girls.
Like, it's
in that
one
team.
thing. He's in a plane. He's in a helicopter and he's with some friends or a girl, whatever. Just not his kids.
Yeah.
But
and other kids from the team.
Yeah, his wife and his other daughter and whatnot. They have to live with that, and that just sucks.
Say Not to take away from anybody else that suffers from other things, but that really was a sad story.
Oh yeah, and
You just don't only hear about things like that.
no, not like that.
No, especially at that time.
Ugh.
That was already going through a lot of bad news at that time. So, anyway, well, not to end on a sad note, as we watch
That's fine.
Kevin Hart up there
As we watch
shaking
Kevin
a
Hart
leg.
doing his stuff for what is this, a bet MGM or something?
Yeah, probably. DraftKings. It's always for somebody
It's
that
always
we got
for
to bet.
somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Either-
they want Jonte Porter. Oh, the very first person they showed after that was Shohei Ohtani. Did you notice that?
That was.
We just have a sports betting commercial and then Shohei Ohtani for New Balance right here.
And now they're not showing them again.
Yeah,
They don't show them again.
That's
They're like, oh, they forgot to cut that one out.
Shoot, edit this
Dang
one.
it.
Edit it. Fantastic. All right, well, cheese bags. Make sure you stay fresh.
Big gulps, huh? I'll see you later.
I love it.
Go for it.
All right, everybody. So this is a immediately following the draft. I got Jason on the phone here. We're just gonna have a quick little chat here. Wanted to say how grateful I was that the Cardinals did not botch it, and they did take Maserati Marv, as he is known, a.k.a. Marvin Harrison Jr. as the wide receiver. First receiver off the board, okay?
And he was a very surprise. I was surprised. Like I said, even a guy in the gym, we were both waiting for the Cardinals to blow it. So I got to give it to them. They're actually thinking smart for a change, which is crazy for the Bidwell family.
Maybe it's because maybe they finally hired the right guy. I don't know, dude. I just was like, dude, we can't blow this, man. This is probably the best chance we have of getting another Larry Fitzgerald back on the roster. I'm not saying he's going to be, but I feel like he's got a real good chance to be. And if there's one thing that should also be mentioned is the fact that while people will say a wide receiver can't get you where you need to go alone, that's true. However, the Cardinals have never known more success than they did when they had Larry Fitzgerald on the team. So that's the importance of a good wide receiver.
Well, it definitely matters. Anybody that says it doesn't matter, yes, alone, you got to have a quarterback. You got to have a decent quarterback to throw to him, but it makes a giant difference when you have a downfield threat. Like,
yes.
They can't stack the box with 7 people when you have a downfield threat like that.
Not to
So
mention,
it makes
like,
a little difference.
he's a 3-level threat. Like, he can go short, intermediate, and deep. Like, having that ability is huge.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to have to play like a cover 2 where you've got 2 safeties playing around or something. If they put 8 in the box, Kyle Murray just needs a smidge of time, and Harrison will destroy that.
He'll be open. Exactly. So super happy about that. This is the one pick, the very first pick, 8th overall. Absolutely blew my mind when it happened. I remember I was in the car. I'm driving to go see my little brother and his family. I got my kids in the car. And as soon as it happened, I went, whoa. And my son Benton goes, Dad, what's wrong? What happened? When the Atlanta Falcons selected Michael Penix Jr. 8th overall, dude. Right after they gave Kirk Cousins $100 million.
Well, did you see that Kirk Cousins had no idea? He was notified when the pick was in.
Yes.
They called him and said they picked a quarterback.
Yeah, that's freaking nuts, man. I mean, I was telling my brother-in-law when I got to my little brother, I'm like, it would have made sense to me if maybe the Falcons were picking at 28, or something like that. We're like, hey, we're going to pick ourselves a project quarterback, kind of like the way the Packers do it. You pick a quarterback in the first round. He's going to sit behind the incumbent starter for a while. He's going to learn, and then we're going to go ahead and phase him in towards the end of their rookie run. Like that one was an absolute shocker to me. That one really got me to go, whoa, that was nuts.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, but maybe unless they're thinking long term, like, hey, look, Kirk's only got a few years. We want to have him learn behind him, so we're just going to take him. But he was one of 6 taken in the draft in the first round.
In the
6
first
quarterbacks taken.
12 picks, man, 6 quarterbacks. And let me ask you this: did you remember hearing about any of these quarterbacks? There were two quarterbacks that were projected to be top picks: Drake May and Caleb Williams. And outside of that, nobody projected anybody else to be a first-round pick. And here we are, 6 quarterbacks in the first 12 picks.
Yeah, Mel Kiper had one of them at rank 31, right? And his mock draft, and he jumped all the way down to pick 11 or whatever, pick 10. Or you're like, what?
Yeah, that was just crazy to me to see that massive jump in quarterback valuation. It happens every year. I don't know why I'm surprised. I guess it's just one of those things. I just didn't see it coming. I really didn't see it coming happening that fast.
No, and for them to have been that's the first time since I think 1983, 6 quarterbacks were taken in the first round. And mind you, in 1983, the 6th quarterback was Dan Marino.
Yeah. Hall of Famer.
So yeah, Hall of Famer. So I mean, that was I mean, 39 years ago, no, 41 years ago.
41 years ago. Yeah, I was gonna say, I know that in our lifetime, I've never seen that many quarterbacks get drafted in the first round.
No. And I'll be honest. I knew Caleb Williams was going to go first, but it doesn't make me happy about it. Like, I don't.
No.
I still feel like he's going to be a bust. The Chicago Bears are going to just regret this decision in like 2 years.
Well, here's why I'm saying he's going to be a bust. It has nothing to do with him. He went to the Bears. The Bears always screwed up. Yeah. That's just the way it works.
Oh no, I agree, and I do think he's overhyped. And after we've talked about that, I just think he's going to have to prove himself to me. Like, I won't be picking him up in a fantasy world for sure. You know what I'm saying?
No,
he's
totally
not going to be playing. No,
I will say this though. Outside of organization, Caleb Williams is lucky in the sense that he's going to a team that's got to be the best team to ever have the number 1 overall pick. You know what I mean? Like, the Bears were not a dumpster fire last year. There's my phrase. Love it, dumpster fire.
Yes.
But I think they were 7-10. Which a 7-win team never has a number 1 overall pick. And I think I remember reading that they had a top 10 overall defense. So, and then they went and picked up Rome Odunze, one of the 3 top wide receivers. So they had 2 top 10 picks, and they got supposedly, the number 1 quarterback, and then they got one of the top 3 wide receivers. So, I mean, they're going to have some weapons.
They should. Well, let's run down. Like, I only know the first 12 picks because I got caught up playing basketball, and the gym and stuff. So, like, what else are some big surprises?
Okay, so as far as one of the things that was a big surprise to me is the first defensive player didn't get picked until number 15.
Yeah, that's strange. Usually, that's like that doesn't happen.
Dude, a tight end went before a defensive player. That never happens.
Yeah, but that dude's a stud out of Georgia, man.
He is.
I mean, he's a 2-time tight end of the year. Like, you watch his yards after catch performances. Like, he's a baller, dude.
He is.
I would have taken him.
No,
Brock, he's a baller.
100%. Brock Bowers is he is one of the rare tight end guys that you see. But it's still crazy to me that a tight end went before a defensive player. Like, that was a nuts one. I told you this one. The guy that your boys picked, his name is Tyler Guyton. He's a tackle from Oklahoma. And the only reason why I found this one to be kind of funny is apparently he's huge. He's 6'7", right? He's always a big left tackle. But does it sound familiar to you to have a left tackle with injury history?
Yeah, Tyron Smith. Yeah, my whole freaking life that I can remember football, pretty much.
And the thing is with Tyron Smith, when healthy, really good, right?
Insane, and he is a giant human being. Like,
huge.
He uses a knee brace for a elbow brace.
Yeah,
like, he is a huge person.
Absolutely massive person. Yeah, but that's been his curse, But here we go. Sure. You're going down that road again, man. You got yourself another oft-injured left tackle to be able to try and get the blind side. So good luck with that one.
This is our year.
And then I would say the last little bit of, I don't know, I'd say like super surprising stuff. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs traded up and took over the Bills spot. So the Bills traded number 28 to go to number 32, and they traded up to draft Xavier Worthy, the guy that set the record for the fastest 40 time in combine history. Sound familiar? The Chiefs having an uber fast wide receiver.
Go figure.
Kind of their thing. That's kind of what they do, right?
That's what made them even more dangerous before. Like, they were good, but I mean, that speed on that's crazy.
Yeah. I that one was a pretty, wow, I can't believe they did that. And the last one was then the Bills traded down again out of the first round entirely to get the first pick in the second round. And the Panthers came up and got a guy named Xavier Leggett, wide receiver out of South Carolina. So that guy's the one that I think that they were the one they were talking about how he talks like Randy Moss, where they're like, whoa, man, a brother sounds like a guy from the hills. So anyway, I don't know anything about him other than apparently he's a big-bodied guy, wide receiver, which obviously, Bryce Young's going to need a big wide receiver to be able to catch the ball because that was what he lost. I shouldn't say not a big body, but, a good receiver. That's what he lost when the Panthers went to trade everything to get him. So, but, I would say those are the big things for me from the first round that caught my attention. Again, just super happy that the Cardinals did the right thing. Drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. Sounds like the guy they got with their 27th pick, Darius Robinson, who's a massive human being, like a 6'5", 290-pound edge player. They're calling this guy an edge player. My entire life, that guy's a defensive tackle, 6'5", 290.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
So apparently he's got the versatility to play every position on the defensive line. And so that's what they got with their second pick. So I'm happy about that. It makes me happy. Okay, we got the wide receiver, and now they're building the trenches. So second round tomorrow, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it should be a good time.
All right, man. Well, I'm glad you had some time to just talk this out and make sure we got it out there. And since I'm going to be releasing this tonight, make sure everybody knows our opinions in the morning.
Heck yeah, here we go.
All right, man. Stay fresh, cheese bags.
All right, like fat kids in dodgeball, we're out.
Out!
The JJ and Pug Show theme song was written, composed, and performed by Lane Hartman. Special thanks to Highland Communities for all the support given to our show. You can find the JJ and Pug Show podcast wherever you do listen to podcasts. Look us up on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Remember to share the show with your friends and family and subscribe wherever you do listen. If you're able to, please feel free to support us by sending a donation to us by going to ko-fi.com/the JJ and Pug Show. That is ko-fi.com/the JJ and Pug Show. Again, thank you so much, everybody, for all the support, whether that is by simply listening, whether that is sharing it with a friend, or giving us that sweet, sweet cash. We truly appreciate it all. Thank you so much.